Sure. Yeah. So we're going to start by doing an exterior, almost sort of like the scene size up, right? So we're going to jump out. We're going to start on the outside. We're going to look for any safety issues, but we're also looking for any evidence that might be present on the outside of the building. We're observing where the fire may have breached a window, whether a door was kicked in, uh, what type of demographic you're in. I mean, are there neighbors that could see the property who might be able to give you a witness statement about what they saw? Is it a secluded place? Is there an indication that the place hasn't had power for a very long time, right? So we're going to be making those phone calls to the utility companies, things like that, to see if there were any utility interruptions. We're going to be documenting the scene. We're going to a big one is a neighborhood canvas, right? So we just want to talk to everyone that might know anything about that fire. Especially in today's world, everybody has a cell phone in their pocket. So we're going to be trying to determine whether someone took any photographs or video. That can all prove really important to both the investigation and to the claim potentially, depending on things that are said or what might be captured in those pictures or videos. We're going to process the scene, and processing can mean all sorts of things, but generally we're talking about observing those fire patterns, trying to understand how the fire behaved, where the fire originated versus where it moved to. And, we've got a lot of fire damage. Did it start here or did it start over there? We're going to look at those fire effects and fire patterns to try to understand that a little better. Once we do that, we're going to be excavating the debris. It's really important to remove that debris, insulation, drywall, things like that, all very normal items that you're going to find in a fire scene. We need to start to remove those to uncover any evidence that might be there. We're going to reconstruct the fire scene. And the reason that's important is it's going to give you an idea about what items may have been in the area where the fire started at the time of the fire, or what maybe is now missing, or what was never there at all, right? So that's all part of that scientific process where we're eliminating things that couldn't possibly have caused the fire and considering those items that may have contributed to the fire. Once that's done, we're going to determine what evidence might be important to retain, excuse me, if any. We're going to be putting a phone call into that adjuster and saying, hey, this is what you've got, right? This is where the fire started. These are our working hypotheses or our conclusions about what the cause of the fire is. What direction are you going to take with this? This is the evidence I see that I think we should preserve. And in some cases, the client says, you know what, based on the circumstances of the fire, the policy, the claim, and what you're telling me, we're just going to close this out. I don't want you to retain any evidence. Shut it down. And we can do that. Or if there's subrogation potential or something that the adjuster wants to explore even further, we can preserve that scene, preserve the evidence in place, or retain it and take it with us, and maybe even come back for what they call a joint study with other parties. So it can go in a number of directions, but we're going to maintain communication with the adjuster through that whole process so that they can, they're holding the reins, right? So they're going to help steer us in whatever direction they're going to take the claim, and that will give us an idea about how to handle the investigation.